craters of the moon. Up ahead in the distance, all the Bitterroots. You can see them up there. And this is Magic Dam, completed in 1910. $3 million. Wonder what it costs now. Huh. Don't see a dam around here, but it must be somewhere. Man. It's some rough country. The Craters of the Moon Monument was put into being by Calvin Coolidge back in 1924. It has an area of 1,100 square miles, so it's a large area in south central Idaho. There have been 3 major flows in that time period. We're talking about 15,000 to 2,000 years ago. The area consists of 25 volcanic cones and several different flows associated with each. They're non-explosive. In other words, they're not like the hot spot that came through this area millions of years ago, the Yellowstone hot spot, which created massive explosions, and I think there were 7 calderas formed all across southern Idaho as the hot spot moved across this area. And there's also what they call the Great Rift, which is a 50-mile long crack right through the middle of the Craters of the Moon. So it's a pretty interesting area. Well, you wouldn't want to go jogging over this very far. Look at all this stuff. And this just comes down out of the volcanoes. No problem over there, but here it comes. Again, just like Hawaii. If your home's in the way, it's coming. No stopping it. This fur trader route was used by good old Tim Goodall, or Goodale, in 1862 as an alternate route on the Oregon Trail due to Indian hostilities down south near Twin Falls. So this was a more northern route. Goodale's cut off. 1820. On the way to cut off to the Oregon Trail. Get out of here, bug. Like I said, we got water. Sounds like a duck. Well, there they are. Quackers.
Exception, the Snake River Plain. The Snake River Plain is a broad, flat arc, like a huge geologic smile grinning across Idaho. The plain marks the path of a series of volcanic eruptions that have taken place over millions of years. The first eruption on the Snake River Plain, about 16 million years ago, occurred near the Idaho-Oregon border. The cause is believed to have been a hot spot that melted deep crustal rock, creating a thick magma called rhyolite. As the rhyolite explosively erupted, it literally blew holes called calderas in the Earth's crust.
Okay, I'm on Craters of the Moon Loop Highway. I believe it's about a 6-mile loop. At the visitor center, they had telescopes set up, and you can see sunspots. Apparently we have a period of solar activity, and that's why Aurora Borealis is being observed farther south than it usually is. Even in Ohio, the potential. I'm not sure it's happened yet. Paisley Cones right there. And that's the Lost River Range over there. Pioneer Mountain.
The above picture is of a kapuka. And what that is basically an island of native vegetation that was surrounded by a lava flow. Because it's so difficult to walk over a lava flow, any cattle or non-native animals can reach that area. So it shows scientists what things used to be back in the sagebrush steppe area. So they can use that as a baseline of how to restore things.
Big cinder cone.
A cinder cone is different from a stratovolcano in that it doesn't originate from a hot spot. In this area, it forms from a crack or fissure in the earth. As a matter of fact, there's a 50-mile long rift or fissure all the way through the Craters of the Moon area. The cinder cone is formed by very frothy magma or liquid basalt, and the fissure, as it's spewing up the lava, the lava shoots in the air, the particles cool and solidify and then fall to the earth and form these small to fist-sized clumps of very light lava or cinders. They're so light they even will float. Another difference between a stratovolcano and a cinder cone is that cinder cones usually form in groups along a crack or fissure, and also that they're monogenetic, which means they erupt only once and then that's the end of it. A stratovolcano, on the other hand, will erupt numerous times over the ages.
I wondered why I was sucking air a little bit. But this is about 6,000 feet in altitude, so that'll get your attention. I think Chillicothe is about 800. Making progress. Okay, this is a cinder cone volcano. That is a cinder cone. Unbelievably light. It'll float. Air. See how shiny it is. That's a cinder cone. The volcano spews this stuff up in the air and it falls around it, slides down the side. So here at the top, I think that's Big Butte over there. Now, blaming sucking air on high altitude couldn't possibly be that I'm 76. Oh man, what a deal. But I guess that's why you need to keep at this. One of these days, we won't talk about it. Whoa! Caught on a branch. A flipper. are splatter cone volcanoes. Blobs of molten lava splatter up, come down and form these little cones. Again, this is fairly runny lava, so it splatters pretty well. Look how runny that lava is. So it's splattered up, and then we're at the vent here at the top. So the lava came to the brim after it lost a lot of energy, lost a lot of its gases, and it just started to run out over the side. See, it's a little bit different composition too. It's a lot redder than the more black. Ah. Whoops. Someone lost their route. Down in the pit. Snow down in there. This is the vent. Well, I'm not sure if I can be heard, but this is an example of Pahoehoe lava. Kind of a smooth texture, kind of comes in waves like this, as opposed to the rough beat up material called lava. Vent is right there.
This is an example of a volcanic bomb. What that is a large blob of lava is ejected into the air, partially solidifies, and falls to the ground. Some of them are as big as 3 feet in diameter. Big cinder cone produced some bombs that were over half a mile away. So at times these eruptions can get pretty violent. This is a pretty piece of lava. It's separate, but listen to it. You can tell how hard it is. It's really scratchy. I mean, you can barely touch it. And
real glassy. And again, you can see the vesicles. Hot, hot, hot. Matter of fact, some of these flows are so hot, you get a pyroclastic flow, and they get pretty deep, and they can actually remelt the magma. Here's our vent. It's all topped off with lichen. The Park Service does a nice job. More ahoy hoy lava. This occurred about 2,000 years ago. Not that long. Apparently here, that black wall at the top contained a large pool of lava. And where the lava creeped through that wall, it cascaded down here into these tiers of molten lava. Thus the name Cascades. Mother Nature is persistent. We got all this, but we still have flowers and butterflies. There is a lava bomb. This blob of lava gets ejected up into the air. Semi-congeals. And it lands kerplop on the ground. And sometimes they break open like this one. There's vesicles. Boy, that's really a cool looking bit of ahoy hoy lava. Just comes out in ropes and buckles and folds. They were saying that this stuff is really fragile. They have pictures of the cinder cones from, I don't know, 30s. They were much, you could see the vents a lot easier, but people walking all over them kind of crushed them down. So now they've got to put up, not barricades, but reminders to keep people from walking on them. Another neat one. Something else a little unusual. This blue tint is from which occurred about 2,100 years ago. Volcano about a mile and a half from here. It's real glassy looking, but it's I think the blue comes from titanium and a type of magnetite. So the blue dragon flow in what? A pahoho. Pahoehoe flow. Not ho, hoehoe flow.
Okay, let me try to explain this blue-tinged Pahoehoe lava a little more clearly. This is called the Blue Dragon Flow. It's a flow that occurred about 2,100 years ago. And the blue comes from tiny titanium-bearing crystals in the magnetite, which is a type of mineral. The flow came from a cinder cone volcano called Broken Top and flowed down through this area and solidified.
There's Little Broken Top volcano. There's like 25 volcanoes in the park. 12 or so of them are cinder cone. There's stratovolcanoes. And then there's some hybrids. As I've said many times, old Mother Nature's pretty amazing. Look at this pine tree. And there's one up on this slope here, making a comeback, growing. And then you have these, I'm not sure the name of them, but I'm sure they grow around when it's snowy around here. But it provides enough moisture. So you see these white blobs on the lava or basalt. Okay, we got a couple things going on here. This ridge here with the cracks in it, in the middle of the screen, is called a pressure plateau. What happens is the magma from our little volcano here is injected in between the rocks and hooves it up, forming a lava tube. And you get these vertical and horizontal cracks, and you can see the land or the rock is sloping away from the lava tube. These lava tubes can go on for tens of miles because the rock is such a good insulator that it doesn't cool, so they just go on and on. Another thing right here is a rift. Right up through the middle there, you can see that dark crack. In the craters of the moon, there's a great rift. It's 50 miles long. And that's caused by the east-west stretching of the Middle West, actually. That's a whole nother story, but as that area is being stretched, it causes faults that are directed in more like semi-north-south direction. And it causes rifting, it causes earthquakes, a lot of things like that. And that's where the range and basin topography came from. The landscape is stretched, so where it dips down, those are the basins, and the high points I'm amazed. See, we got a few clouds. Holy mackerel. Okay, this is a collapsed lava tube. You can see where it hooved up the ground, but in this spot, roof caved in. I'm not sure I'm going to make it or not, but this is another process that's pretty cool. You can see that tree over there. Down the trailways, when the lava flow hits a tree like that, it pretty much piles up on the side toward the flow and surrounds the trunk. Of course, the tree catches fire and disintegrates, and what's left is a hole in the basalt, and you can even see the impressions of the bark on the hole that's left over. So, but you can see the old lava flow didn't quite get to that tree. So, of course, that tree probably wasn't here 2,000 years ago. Come to think of it, but the principle is all the same. Okay, okay, gotta be correct. This kind of gives you the feel for the size at this point. These lava fields just stretch on and on and on. And you can imagine any snow or rain that lands on that just percolates down to the bottom. It's kind of protected from evaporation. So, like I said, one of the largest in the West, maybe be the largest western aquifer. It's right in this area. I'm gonna go see the caves, which are lava tubes. Basically, the bats, you had to get a permit stating that you hadn't been in a cave recently, because they're trying to save the bats from white nose disease, I think it is. It's a fungus. It ravages bat colonies if it gets in there. There's a lava tube. It's right up through there. Collapses their destiny. Yeah. Kind of cool down in here. Skylight. Lava tube. Again, these can go for tens of miles, they said. Which means, I guess, 10, 20, 30. These are all full of molten lava, streaming. Unbelievable. This camera can see better than I can see. Wow. It's like 30 feet high. Hear a bunch of shuffling, don't you? Okay. Okay, this was a limber pine, and all those branches that have been overgrown into nuts like that was a result of a dwarf mistletoe, which infects the tree, causes that rather grotesque growth on the branches. However, it doesn't kill the tree. So, early days, park rangers thought it was a problem, got rid of the mistletoe, and the trees died. So, not good.